Okay, we're continuing here in the Orchos Yosher in the SIMCHA shel mitzvah, the joy that a person should have when they're doing mitzvahs. And he writes like this: V'sham, it says in the Gemara, V'shibachli ani es simcha. Shlomo HaMelech says in Koheles, I praised Simcha. So Simcha shel mitzvah, which kind of joy did Shlomo HaMelech said was something that was praiseworthy? So he says the Simcha that is praiseworthy in this world is the simcha that a person can have from doing the mitzvahs itself. Why is simcha shel mitzvah such an amazing and a great thing? Because you are happy about the things that you appreciate and you like. You are not happy about the things that bother you, that are annoying to you, that you have no connection to. A person who rejoices over the mitzvahs shows the Rebbeinu Shalom that a mitzvah is something that I appreciate, the intrinsic and the inherent value. It is something that I feel elevated and invigorated by, and therefore a person cannot control their joy. It says further, Avraham samach la'akoid. When Avraham Avinu was taking Yitzchak up to the mountain, and he was going to do the Akedah, he was going to lay him out and shecht him, so the Midrash says, samach la'akoid. Avraham Avinu was happy to do this to his son Yitzchak. Yitzchak samach le'aked, and Yitzchak was happy that he was going to get shechted. Because, why? Because they're doing a mitzvah. The mitzvah sounds something that is impossible and defies human imagination of why HaKadosh Baruch Hu is asking me to do this. Nevertheless, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, this is your command, and this is your mitzvah, so then just like I rejoice, that the Midrash says over there, that Avraham Avinu was as happy leading Yitzchak down to the altar as he would have been, was he leading him down the runway to the chuppah. The same simcha that he would have had to marry his son Yitzchak off to a righteous woman was the simcha that he had when he was going to do this particular mitzvah. Because it doesn't matter what the mitzvah is. What concerns a God-fearing Jew is, if it's a mitzvah, I can rejoice. Says further, Ubishabes, it says in the Gemara, Kol mitzvah shekiblu aleim b'simcha, any mitzvah that the Jewish people accepted upon themselves with joy, kagoyin mila, for example, bris mila, adayin oisin oisa b'simcha, even today, until this very day, the Jewish people will still do it b'simcha. And can you imagine such a thing? It's the only religion that makes a party over mutilating your child. It's the only religion that gets even the most secular of all Jews in the world know that a bris milah is a big deal. And they make a party, and they have pictures, and they have catering, and they have this, and they have that. They do it all. Why is it that this mitzvah of bris milah, which again, on the surface, looking in, looks to be one of the cruelest things that a Jew could possibly do to their infantile baby, just don't do bris milah. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, do bris milah. And Avraham Avinu was sameach. He was 90, 100 years old when he did it. He wasn't a spring chicken, and he didn't have an expert moil on hand. He did it by himself, and he did it his whole household. And they did it m'toich simcha, with joy and happiness that they were able to perform the will of Hashem. As a result, says the Gemara, that any mitzvah that was niskabel, that was accepted by Klal Yisrael, in a state of simcha, of joy, it will last until this very day. B'simcha, we will still continue to do it b'simcha. And we'll leave off with the following words. The ayim b'Mishnah Berurah, if you look inside the Mishnah Berurah, the Chavetz Chaim brings the following. Shekasev, he writes, She'idu al Arizal sha'amar. The Arizal was known to say the following. Sha'mayla hel yoidish isig. The fact that the Arizal was the greatest Kabbalist of the last 500 years, was able to reach such a lofty level, is because al yedei shaya mesamech b'chol oiz b'simcha shel mitzvah, because he girded all of his strength and he rejoiced when he was performing mitzvahs. Ad kan l'shana, that's the words of the Chavetz Chaim. Why did the Arizal see things in Kabbalah that nobody ever saw? Why was the Arizal able to talk to the Shamas and Eliyahu Navi and do all these amazing things? He said, one reason. Because when I did mitzvahs, I was girded kol ois, all my strength together, that I should do them b'simcha. And the simcha that I did from the mitzvah brought me to such a high and an amazing level, so I was able to have these things. So he brings, what's the source of this? Umekoro ba'akdam sefer charedim. There's a sefer called the Sefer Charedim, and v'zel l'shon, it says like this: Gilo harav v'chaser ha'makubal Marino harav Yitzchak Ashkenazi Zatzal l'Ish Soidai. The great Arizal revealed the following to one of his confidants: Shekol ma she'isig, everything that he achieved. Sheniftichu lo shai chachma b'ruach hakodesh, that the gates of wisdom and ruach hakodesh and the divine spirit came to him, was b'schar shayesamech v'asiyas kol mitzvah simcha gedola le'ein tachlis, is the reward that he received for the joy that he had in doing the mitzvahs, because of the simcha gedola, the tremendous simcha that he had, le'ein tachlis, there's no end. A person who's excited about something, who's happy about something, you ever notice a guy goes to a movie and he really gets pumped up by the movie? He cannot stop talking about this movie for the next 5 hours. He just watched the movie. But he can't stop talking about it for 5 hours. Then he comes home and he sees his wife, oh, you got to hear this thing, and he starts going scene by scene by scene by scene. He loves it. Can't stop talking about it. The guy went to the big game. And it was the most exciting cliffhanger game in the world. Went down to the wire. And he's describing every single move. This guy put up like this. He put a ball in a hoop. Wow! He put a ball in a hoop. Unbelievable. He's making $50 million a year. He can't spell his name. He's been practicing since he's 3 years old on the courts to put a ball in the hoop. And you're, wow! He put a ball in the hoop. Fine, he puts it in the hoop. For the next 5 hours of your life, you can't stop talking about the ball that went into the hoop, and you should have seen the move. Because you're excited about it. You get excited about movies. It's dramatic, it's impactful, it brings all the emotions out. You get excited about the ball game, you can't calm down from it, so you start talking about it. Says that Arizal, I knew what the real simcha in life is all about. And I knew what you should really get excited about and really talk about. And therefore, I got excited and ecstatic about mitzvahs. Every single mitzvah, kol ois, I girded my strength together, and I did the mitzvahs b'simcha. And the Arizal, when he would finish a mitzvah, who knows, we could talk about it probably for hours on end. The tikkunim that he was making in Shemayim, when he put the tefillin on, like, who knows? The Arizal understood the value and the importance of a mitzvah, and therefore he says, that's why at Ruach HaKodesh, that's why the gateways of Chachma, of wisdom, were opened up to me, for a simple thing, because I did every mitzvah simcha gedoyla, la'ein tachlis, there was no limit to the simcha, to the joy that I was able to achieve when I was performing the mitzvahs of Hashem. Okay, we'll see next time, Bez Hashem, a beautiful, beautiful pshat in the Chumash. Okay, have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos. And Shabbos is coming. What a great day to celebrate the Yom Shabbos Kodesh, the Simcha Be'ez Hashem.